Hi, welcome back. This is Lori from Finding 50 Fit, and a great way to love yourself is to feed yourself healthily. Today we're going to be talking about eating greens at breakfast. Ideally, it would be optimal if your greens are organic. You may think that this is way too expensive of an option for your family. Trust me, as a mom of 5 and 2 teenagers and another boy that's also a teenager, and actually, my girls, they eat pretty healthily amounts of food because we're a very active family. We need to have a lot of healthy options because if I don't satisfy their nutritional needs, they're going to want to keep eating and the kitchen will never close. And that's not really what I'm striving for. So we actually subscribe to CSA, which stands for Community Supported Agriculture. I love supporting a local farmer. I love that our food is organic and we're paying a fraction of the cost that we would be paying for organic food at a grocery store. I have here a picture of a spread of 1 week's worth of food. We're paying $29 a week for our batch of vegetables, and it would be more than that at a regular grocery store for non-organic vegetables. So we are definitely getting our money's worth. Our farm has a U-Pick section, which has additional food that we can get, including tomatoes, herbs, fresh flowers, and maybe beans or peas or just other things. So we go into the barn and pick our regular share, and then we go out to the fields and pick optional extra things. And this is great because it just makes me feel like I'm getting more for my money. And at the same time, supporting a local farmer who is working really hard. The food is made with love. It's made in ground that's healthy, and it nourishes our bodies and our souls in the optimal way that it is meant to. So I would highly encourage you to look into that. It does require a little bit of time to travel to the farm. If that is out of the question, most farms, including ours, does a local drop-off. So if I can't get out there anywhere 1 week, I can just schedule, change, and go pick up at the local drop-off, which is only about 5 minutes away from my house. So that is super ideal. My easiest and fastest means to have greens for breakfast is through a smoothie. And you can see some of the options for what goes into my smoothie. Always a healthy batch of greens. I add MCT oil, a pinch of salt, stevia to sweeten, and you can vary your fruits that you put in. It's really helpful to freeze the strawberries, blueberries, maybe slices of banana, slices of other fruit. If you have a bunch of fruit that's going bad, you can cut it apart, put it on a piece of parchment paper, throw it on a cookie sheet, and freeze it. If you leave it in there a little bit too long, it dehydrates, strengthening the flavors. Once it's frozen, you put it all in a baggie, and it's good to go for whenever you need it. I try to buy extra strawberries and blueberries when they're in season and put them in the freezer so I have a good supply throughout the year. And then I also will buy large bags of pre-frozen fruits at Costco or Giant. Anytime that they're on sale, I'll try to stock up on that. For anyone that's in the market to search for a food processor, I highly recommend the Vitamix. We've had this machine since 2002, so it is 18 years old. We had the motor replaced one time, fully paid for. They paid for shipping to and from and repaired the device, and it is just amazing. You can have your frozen foods completely liquefied, and it's fast and easy. It's super easy to clean, and I'll even show you that here. This single batch makes 2 drinks, and so I can have one for breakfast, maybe one for a snack or lunch, or even at dinner time, or I'll share it with someone else in the family. Also, I might make multiple batches if I have a little bit of extra time and put them away in pint-sized containers in the freezer, and they're slightly less delicious coming from frozen, but they still are very tasty, and it's just a great way to have something that's completely ready-made. You take it out of the freezer the night before and enjoy it the next day for breakfast. I take them camping, and it helps to serve as an ice pack. These are the containers I use, and it works great for that. Personally, I think that when you're talking about eating greens in your meals, it's good to have a combination of raw greens and cooked greens. And my favorite, hot cooked greens meal for breakfast is cooked spinach. And so I actually make a majorly large batch using this enormous bag of greens that I get from Produce Junction. I'll pre-cook 4 onions till they're brown and sweet, and I cook in coconut oil. It will take 4 batches to make this much cooked. That's a 9 by 13 pan. And then I use a little bowl that I have and scoop serving size sections into the bowl and put it on a piece of parchment paper on a cookie sheet, and I will freeze it overnight. When all the clumps, which it usually makes between 8 and 12 clumps depending on how big I make my serving sizes, when all the clumps are frozen, I wrap up the parchment paper and put all of them in a big Ziploc baggie, and they stay in the freezer. I can take them out one at a time the night before or even the morning of and cook them up, and it is delicious and nutritious. And for anybody that remembers Popeye, he would cut open his can of spinach and he was strong and good to go. That's exactly how I feel after I eat my hot onion and spinach breakfast. I'm not hungry at all until lunchtime. It is also paired really, really well with eggs. And if you are not eliminating nightshades, dicing up a tomato to put in to the spinach and onions is delicious. So I highly recommend that if you are able to eat tomatoes. And so I hope you enjoy this breakfast. And both recipes will be available if you click on the link in the description box on both the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. You can open and print those up, and I hope you enjoy them. I will be providing some other meal options for lunch and dinner that also have recipes that are my favorites that include the greens. And have a great week. Hope you try them. If you have other recipes that you like that are your favorites, please feel free to share them in the comments section on the Facebook page. And if you try these and have any feedback, please feel free to leave comments. Also, as always, leave questions. Thanks so much. See you next week. Bye-bye.